On September 24th, 2013, the USA Today released an article called "Anger is the Internet's Most Powerful Emotion." In this article, they talk about the surge of anger that happens on the internet as opposed to real life, with the general takeaway that people feel much more comfortable being angry online. Fast forward another 12 years later, on June 24th, 2025, Medium released an article titled "Why Everyone's So Angry Online and What It's Costing Us." On this article, they talk about anger on the internet transitioning into anger in the real world. They talk about, come on! As much as I like to say history repeats itself, I do think people are a lot angrier now. Anger here, anger there, anger within inside me. But sometimes it's not enough to just be angry. Some people have to go out of their way to make me angry specifically so they can feel better about themselves. This usually resorts into having some sort of bait to make someone rage, or as it's more commonly known as, rage baiting. Now, rage baiting is nothing new. It's just a new fancy word to describe something that's existed this whole time. Trolling, pranking, teasing, breaking balls. There's a lot of words to describe this phenomenon. Even though the name itself has been through so many iterations and will go through even more iterations, the idea has always stayed the same. It's all about making someone upset in order to get a reaction out of them. I just took notes of every single thing that rage baited me. Obviously, you have the usual suspects: YouTube comments, Instagram comments, Twitter commenting in general. But the worst part about rage baiting is that it's bait. When you take the bait, it's the worst. You're telling me someone was purposefully making me mad, so then I respond to it saying, "Hey, you're making me mad," and somehow I'm in the wrong? Oh, I said a bunch of things that obviously make you mad and then you got mad. I gotcha. That's a gotcha. I gotcha. I win. And yeah. They do win. They win because they upset me. RageBait is a virus. It spreads from person to person through negativity. It's basically me just trying to list off every single virus in existence. Okay, certain times when I go on Instagram and I'm watching a meme, I like to look at the comments. That's just a thing I like to do. When I watch a video, I like to go to the comments and see what other people have to say. Sometimes they make really funny jokes, right? But for the last long while, my Instagram comments have been gaslighting me. Here's the thing. I wanted to take a little bit of a break off Instagram because they were showing me way too many videos of fat people farting in clogs. So I was like, you know what? I was trying to go back to my old account to keep in touch with old friends. Forget it. Fuck it. It was a mistake. It was so bad. I only lasted a month before I went back to my old account, and I feel so much better watching those videos of fat people farting in their clogs. For example, here's a skit on Instagram of a guy trying to record vocals, but then he hears the Beach Boy vocals and he feels inferior to the Beach Boys. The first comment I see has 79 likes. Extremely annoying vocals talking about the Beach Boys vocals. This isn't isolated, they're literally harmonizing, even though it says isolated vocals, plural, the S is plural. But then I scroll down and boop, oh, there's the comments with all the likes. And here's another post of a pastor dancing to the church's music. Excuse me. So is that Christianity? What? And then it has 44 replies because what the fuck are you saying? Is that Yeah? You're not supposed to like feel happiness towards a religion? Oh, and then you scroll down. Oh, there's the comments everyone likes, but I guess they don't have as many replies. So what does Facebook do? They show me the fucking 44 replies. You might notice I said Facebook instead of Instagram. So if somebody tries to rage bait me and says, oh, hey, you missed Instagram instead of Facebook, I'm saying that because Meta, and I call Meta Facebook because I forgot the name change, okay? Speaking of Christianity, there's a post saying a megachurch pastor lists their 24-acre compound for 15 million. What is the first comment I get? This is my uncle, and it's sad to see the comments like this without any knowledge of who he is as a person. Well, I know one thing about him. He has a 15 million home that he could have spent feeding a bunch of like homeless people or, you know, doing something a little bit more godly. But then what's the next comment? Oh, it's something criticizing it, which is what most people would do in this situation. Charlie Chaplin received the longest ovation in Oscar history, lasting 12 minutes. What do you think the first comment says? I seriously doubt it was 12 minutes. What the fuck are you saying? What are you trying to prove? Oh, the applause was probably 9 minutes or 8 minutes. Like, what is the point that you're trying to make here? And this one actually does have a pretty good amount of likes. But here's the most liked comment. This is my first time seeing the old version of Charles Chaplin. Yeah, that's the one with all the likes. Why does Instagram want to show me comments that make me upset? It rage baited me, sure, but it didn't make me want to use Instagram more. I got rid of Instagram. Or what about Twitter, when every other tweet that you see is supposed to rage bait you as much as possible, and then someone says, oh, actually it's x.com, and you're like, oh my god, no one cares. cares? Now, obviously, Twitter's a pretty hot place to talk about the political climate of today, but I try to ignore those to the best of my ability. Instead, I get upset over other things, like, for example, someone posts Christmas Day is 100 days away, and they post the obligatory Mariah Carey covered in ice because she's about to thaw out for Christmas. And then I had the misfortune of seeing a tweet on my feed that says, "Are we really gonna make this joke every year?" 200,000 likes. Are we gonna make a Christmas joke every year? Are we gonna make a holiday joke that happens, a holiday that happens every year? Are we gonna make a joke about that every year on a holiday that happens every year? I think we are. I think the joke is that it happens every year. Are we gonna celebrate Christmas every year? Yes. Mariah Carey made the song 30 years ago. It's been 30 years. We make the joke every year. What makes you think that your stupid ass tweet is gonna change that? Okay, because you had a negative thought? Are we going to listen to Mariah Carey every year? Are we going to watch The Grinch every year? Am I going to get a present every single year? You know what? No, racism. It's racist. That was racist. Like, every week I see this tweet that is supposed to be the social standard among Twitter users, but usually it just means it is a riled up amount of negativity. Oh, give it 1 to 2 more months, they're gonna shit on weapons like they're shitting on sinners right now because, oh, the popular thing has not been popular for like 2 months, so we can call it bad now. They're gonna call weapons bad, even though it's not. It's a great movie, but they're gonna say, can we stop remember when all the white people liked this movie? You're white. You are whiter than me. Trying to control how I feel about movies. Go back to your letterbox, you ass. And video games are such a high source of rage baiting. I can never get into competitive gaming. Firstly, I don't see any financial incentive in becoming a competitive gamer. But secondly, they just incite so much madness. When I played Counter-Strike, I barely even played the competitive mode, but it still made me so mad. Or when I played the finals, again, I was mostly a casual player, but I got so mad when I played it. And my friends got so mad. The only difference is that I don't play it anymore, and they do. And I tell them, hey, why do you still play this game? And they're like, oh, it's called this thing, fear of missing out. I don't want to miss out on the cool cosmetic that I have to take 50 hours in order to earn. Or what about my playthrough of Hollow Knight Silksong, where I'm 20 hours into the game and I had to give up. I gave up on my playthrough of the game. And you know what someone says to me? Oh, have you considered taking a break from the game? Oh, just take your time away from the game. How many more breaks can I take before I progress in this game? Because I get to a boss that takes me 5 minutes to get to. I die to the boss in 2 minutes, so I have to spend most of my playthrough just trying to get to bosses instead of actually fighting them. I fucking hate it. I fucking hate it. Oh, have you considered taking a break from the game? Yes, I take breaks from the game and then I still get mad over the game. I know Silksong's a good game, but it's fucking hard. It's really fucking hard. And then the response I get is, have you considered trying to, you know, meditate? Or like, I played Silksong for 20 hours and I only got to the Citadel. I'm gonna tell you right now, I can't. I just can't do it. I can't beat Silksong, and I accept that. No amount of calm demeanored people coming up to me saying, hey man, it's okay. Sometimes no, fuck you. And here's the thing, not all rage bait is bad. Sometimes people get easily upset and you just have to upset them in order to move on with life. Like, for example, if you're a comedian, your whole occupation is just rage baiting people for money. As a matter of fact, if you're not upsetting enough people, you're considered shitty at your job. Ultimately, people are there to laugh, but more specifically, they're there to have their emotions provoked. Not every joke is going to land, but the jokes that land the most aren't necessarily responded to with laughter. I made the mistake of responding to a comment on my Boy in a Band video, and I accidentally said something that might have offended people. You know, I might have said the bass in Don't Stay in School was so loud that an Irish person could have planted it in your car. I hate to take away all the momentum I had in this video to apologize for something, but I do feel it's necessary here, if you understand. So, in case you're wondering, the joke I made there was a reference to the Irish Republican Army, more specifically the Irish Troubles, because paramilitary groups at the time, because they didn't have enough firepower, would instead use explosive weapons that they made. And sometimes they would put these explosive devices in vehicles and use the car as a weapon, which is where my Boy in a Band joke came from. You know, the bass would be so loud that it would explode the car, and it was in extremely poor taste. I'm someone that carries Irish ancestry and has also watched The Departed once. Boy in a Band's bass wasn't so loud that an Irish person would plant it in a car. That was wrong of me to say. and I'm sorry. And like many a comedian, we all have to find our boundaries into what upsets or doesn't upset people. And obviously politics are a pretty big source of rage baiting, probably the biggest source of rage baiting in the country right now. The thing is that regardless of what political matter you speak of, someone will get mad at you for anything you say. So you kind of just have to pick your battles. Obviously, mobile game ads, but advertisements in general are a pretty infamous example of rage baiting. You know, you go to the mobile game ad, oh, I can't finish the game. Well, maybe if you didn't play it like a fucking dumbass, you'd get a little bit better at the game. Or like certain commercials that would play over and over and over, and they would just be ingrained in your head through just a sheer annoyance.
Tal Lopez has just been accused of the SEC of running a massive e-commerce Ponzi scheme.
You always see these videos that are like, oh, nostalgic 90s commercial, oh, nostalgic 2000s commercials. But what they don't show you is these super annoying commercials that everyone has tried to block out from their memory. If you're watching commercials from the 2000s, you're gonna get a bunch of commercials about Capri Sun and Sunny D. You're not gonna get anything about Head On.
Head On, applied directly to the forehead. Head On, applied directly to the forehead. Head On, applied directly to the forehead.
Or, you know, content that purposefully tries to upset you by ruining copious amounts of food. I already talked about Ethan Bernath and his air fryer from hell, but there's also just like an alarming amount of examples of people just like pouring away food. It prompts a strong emotional reaction into people because we don't like to waste food. We know how valuable food as a resource is and we don't want to waste it. Or what about those cooking websites where you try to find a recipe, but instead of getting the recipe, you get like a 2-page story about their experience with cookies. And then you have to keep scrolling and scrolling and scrolling until you actually find the ingredients for those cookies. Why is the cooking tutorial at the bottom of the page instead of the top? How many ads do you need? How many pop-up ads do you need? I'm already getting a bunch of ads when I'm sitting on the website and just trying to cook. I get an ad in the corner, an ad at the bottom. Like, I already get ads. I had a donut before recording and it's giving me a lot of acid reflux and it's making it difficult to record. My own body is rage baiting me right now. It's not just exclusive to me eating a donut. Isn't it annoying that your body, the thing you're supposed to trust the most, is the thing that is trying to troll you the most? There's acid refluxes. Intrusive thoughts are the OG rage bait for me. Hey, I'm gonna put the worst fucking thought possible in your head and there's nothing you can do about it, you. Ha ha. I'm sorry, there's no troll, no rage baiter that can outdo what goes on in my head. Yeah, it's when your brain says, hey, you wanna go to sleep tonight? What if I make a dream of you watching someone die? Oh, hey, look at that baby on the stroller in the sidewalk. I sure hope no one kicks it right in the fucking face. Hey, a waiter doing their job just trying to get on by. What if you just splashed a cup of water in their face? What if you splashed a cup of boiling hot coffee right in their face? And you're like, no, don't do that. No, I would never. Like when I have to sneeze randomly while I'm driving, that upsets me. Or when I'm trying to record something and I burp or I fart and then I just have to dwell in my own gas for like 30 seconds before it dissipates into the air. Or the greatest rage bait of all, yawning, because it's fucking contagious somehow. How is yawning contagious? Why is that the one thing people looked at and they said, yeah, that's just something I want to do right now when I look at someone, you know, I did pull up like a few more articles for research. Like I pulled one up from the Harvard website. And this is a 2018 article about the psychology of internet rage. And in that article, they compare internet anger to road rage, which, as we know, if a car is in front of you, they're the dumbest fucking person alive, and if a car is behind you, they're rage baiting you. But it is something similar. The angriest I ever get is in my car when I'm road raging. And it's for a simple reason. People won't go when the light turns green, and that just, it tips me over. But at the end of this article, it says you can choose how you interact with the internet in a healthy way. And that's true to an extent. The world is an angrier place than it used to be. There's so much people that prey on fear and anger and things that provoke high emotions. And it's for a simple reason. They get a lot of money from you. Like, rage bait is profitable and you have to use it in one way or another. Unless you're like writing a textbook, then don't rage bait in your textbook. Maybe just a little. That didn't work for me. I didn't read any of my textbooks in college. And again, I'm not going to get extremely political in this video, but I see a lot of people use politics as a way to incite a lot of anger and fear, and it's been like that for a really long time now. But as someone who's been on the internet most of their life and is a content creator, there is a very, very real danger of having a fan base that is defined by anger. Because the fans that watch you for like saying angry stuff or fear-mongering stuff are going to get a very high sense of anger, and that does become addictive. So if you try to say something that calms them down, they're going to get disinterested or just straight up angry at you instead. And you might be wondering to yourself, am I just describing the plot of the movie Network? Yeah, Yes, I am. If you want to last a long time, there's certain things you have to be objective about. You can't just give people emotions all the time. Or if you do want to give them emotions, give them like uplifting emotions, give them inspiring emotions. Before all of that stuff with Kanye happened, the biggest appeal to him was that he was just a super inspirational guy. And of course, Kanye is a notorious rage baiter, but he would at least balance it out with inspirational stuff. Even though he rage baits, he inspires you. He has not inspired me since he became a Nazi. Now, is there any way to prevent yourself from being angry on the internet? No, like that's just like an emotion you have. Like you're just gonna get mad. I'm going to get mad, even though the channel's called No Mad. Sometimes I get mad, but don't tell anyone. And I'm gonna be honest, rage baiting is really fun sometimes. I love rage baiting with my thumbnails. I like having thumbnails that upset easily upsettable people. However, when I find myself getting way too upset about something, I just have to take a second and go, oh wait, none of this matters, and that usually does just calm me down and I scroll on with my day. Like yes, when I see a tweet about Mariah Carey, it does upset me, but after a while I just say, wait a minute, this doesn't matter. I'm still going to celebrate Christmas, and I go on with my life. So right now my body's rage baiting me with a sore throat, so I can't speak for much longer, so I have to make these next few words count. Oh shit, I didn't even talk about music elitism. Those people are so easy to rage bait. They think their genre of music is the only one that matters, so you just say it doesn't, and then they get mad. Some other people that are easy to rage bait. Racist people are easy to rage bait because you just show them a black guy. Homophobic people are easy to rage bait because you show them a picture of two black guys except they're kissing, or you show them a picture of a cock. I think that works too. The main takeaway from this video is I hope my audience doesn't get too angry later on down the line. I don't want an angry audience. Don't surround yourself by people filled with hate, because eventually if you don't have any hate in your soul anymore, they'll start hating you, and it becomes a mess. It becomes a fucking mess. There's probably some comment that's going to say, what was even the point of this video? And they're right. I don't know what the point of this video was. I just kind of wanted to talk about this thing, but I didn't. I rage baited myself by procrastinating way too much, so my script is like way more all over the place than it usually is. So in conclusion, I'm actually like a pretty angry person. Again, there's a lot of articles online that just tell you, oh, being on the internet more often makes you angry, and it's true. If one more fucking person tells me to take a break while playing Silk Song, I'm going to break their neck, split it into like 10 different pieces. I'm going to decapitate them, actually. That's just what I'm going to do.